I think it's a part of the design of the human animal that got us to cooperate in tribes. I think in order for things to work and function, you have to have a very strong inclination that there's one leader.
Right.
And then, you have to have resistance of that to find the better next leader.
Right.
And so that's where people get angry at this one person that's running the whole thing. But I think that when you scale that out to like 300 million people, it just doesn't work.
How could it?
It doesn't work. It's chaos.
Yeah.
We didn't design it for that.
Right.
Or whatever designed us, I should say, didn't design us for that. Designed us for like tribes of 150 people. It's an alternative version of history. And the alternative version is that there's actual evidence that the Earth was assaulted by comet impacts around 12,000 years ago. And there's also actual evidence of construction that's almost impossible to do today. Certainly in a lifetime. Like to make the Great Pyramid of Giza, if you had one lifetime, do you really think they could move that many stones cut in place along with all of the fucking extraction of the stones from the quarries and all the engineering involved and making sure that how much time was it going to take to make something with 2,600,000 stones from a quarry 500 miles away? I have to imagine it's going to take a long fucking time. So we know for sure that someone a long fucking time ago had that kind of engineering and genius. Just a couple hundred years ago, we're living like Stone Age folks at the exact same time.
Yeah.
The Comanche were using bows and arrows and riding horses.
You mean when the pyramids were...
Thousands of years later.
Weird.
Thousands of years later. Humans are hunting buffalo on horseback with sticks. Different humans, different parts of the world.
That's nuts.
It's nuts. I think if you think about how quickly people went from that, like the riding horses and shooting things off a horseback, which was like, obviously the Mongols, that's how they did war. So that's the 1200s, right? So, like, that's not that long. That's 800 years ago. If you think about the pyramids being 5,000 years ago, from 800 years ago to now...
Crazy.
To get in a train, and it goes 500 miles an hour. To get on a plane, you fly to another country. That's only 800 years. Imagine if they had achieved that the way, like, the Mongols were, but they did it, like, at 4,000 BC.
Right.
6,000 BC.
I gotcha.
And we have thousands of years of people figuring things out in a different way than we have.
Right.
They're using stone. Did they have electricity? What kind of knowledge did they have about life? Did they have universities? How did they figure out all the things they know? How did they figure out all this design and construction stuff? How many thousands of years? Imagine if we had an uninterrupted history with no catastrophes and no wars. An accurate historical representation by the people that lived at the time from every fucking year, 9,000 years ago.
Right. You know what? It'd make people calm down a little bit, wouldn't it? Like if you could go back and look at tweets from 700 BC and like realize how insignificant you are in that vast scope of time, that'd be really good for us, man. I think that's part of the problem, is that those big gaps in what we know about civilization have created this like really terrible, I don't know what you would call it, like some kind of like societal narcissism or some kind of like crazy idea that like no, your life, like this life that you're in right now, this 70-year span in the midst of this ocean of time, no, for sure it's the most important life, definitely, like out of the like stacks of bones, definitely you could make like a bridge of bones that would probably, go all the way to Mars?
An asteroid belt of bones.
But right, exactly. But your life is definitely the most important life. No, for sure. Like really, like you really need to be all up in everybody's shit because it's so like right now, this is it, the most important. No, this is it, for real, this is it. It produces this crazy, hyper active way of living. Like, you know what people don't say they're happy anymore. You know what they say instead of happy? I'm excited. You don't even say happy anymore. It's like excited is the means you're happy. I'm excited. But like being excited, it doesn't feel that good. Like if you really look at it, it's like kind of getting volted by electricity, you know?
I like being excited.
It's okay, but if you really look at the feeling...
I like being happy too.
I prefer happy and peaceful.
That desire to be the head of the clan. The desire to be the head of the tribe is instilled in all of us.
Yeah.
We were in these little tribal groups for most of the time that we were humans. For thousands of years, we lived like that. Until they figured out transportation, until they figured out how to ride animals, until they figured out how to branch out.
Yeah.
Till they figured out boats. That's how humans lived. That's how we developed into humans.
But you don't
That's how
want
we
it.
survived.
You don't want to be president.
No, but it's instilled in the DNA. You're a logical person.